This is Dhammapada Chapter 2, Appamadavagga, heedfulness. The stanza is Pamadang appamadena yada nudati pandito panya pasada maruya asoko sokining pajan pabbatattova bummatte dhiro bale avekkati. The teachings of the Buddha allocated or divided into different categories, different groups. All the stanzas or Pali Gathas we can find in different books, and Dhammapada is one of them. In this book, or the sayings of the Buddha, we can find very simple and practical for our day-to-day life, but not very philosophical or theoretical or psychological. There are many things for us to learn from this book. Most of these stanzas are advices given by the Buddha due to certain incidents which have taken place during the Buddha's time. And the meaning of this saying, another problem, English translation. When you read the English translation, you won't be able to catch the real meaning because of the language problem, unless some sort of commentaries or interpretations are given. Now let us take the meaning of this stanza. When an understanding one discards heedlessness by heedfulness, he, free from sorrow, ascends to the palace of wisdom and surveys the sorrowing folk as a wise mountaineer surveys the ignorant groundlings. This is the English translation. So when we explain actually what the Buddha wanted to tell us, is this in simple language. When we try to overcome our laziness by using our efforts in various ways, we can climb the top. After climbing, when you look at, we can see the down, that people have not reached up to that extent to understand many things. Now, easy, isn't it? That is the real meaning of the Buddha's saying. So, laziness is one of the mental hindrances which cause or which become the cause of our downfall. When we use our effort, either mentally or physically, we will be able to reach or to gain many things for our day-to-day life, for our worldly life, and also to gain more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It is due to lack of this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding we act blindly. We create a lot of imaginations and maintain so many superstitious, meaningless belief, concept and practices, especially in the name of religion. When we come to religion, we can understand that religion is a soft ground for others to dig very easily and to inject or to introduce many beliefs and concepts. Now, if you have not developed your understanding and knowledge, you accept and you believe because you are innocent. You are not cunning. Your thinking power is not advanced to analyze. Then you become the victims to many of those crooked, selfish, so-called religious leaders. This situation is very unhealthy, spreading all over the world in the name of religion. Many educated young people, especially in other parts of the world, in the West, completely given up religious concept and belief because the religion which was introduced earlier could not contribute anything for them to appreciate according to their intellectual capacity, intellectual analysis. But in this part of the world, still many people maintain belief and superstitious ideas. So this is a very good ground for them to introduce various religious cult and creed and belief and practices. But after some times, when they come to know, when they realize many things, slowly they will give up. When you study the history of Buddhism for more than 2,500 years, when you read the teachings of the Buddha, you may come across certain teachings or certain areas which you cannot understand. That means your worldly way of thinking and way of thinking what others maintain or develop, when you compare, you can see the difference. Now let us take few sayings of Confucius, Lao Tzu, Socrates, and the Buddha, or Jesus, or Krishna, or Muhammad. We cannot catch the real meaning at once. After reading those passages, we create our own imagination according to our way of thinking, then misinterpret and distort. That is how they develop so many religious denominations in the same religions. Let us take Christianity. I heard today there are more than 400 Christian denominations all over the world. They have different concepts about Jesus and about God and heaven. Let us take Hinduism. Nobody knows how many thousands of denominations are there amongst Hindus. Buddhism originated in India. For a few hundred years went on a spread without changing the basic teachings. Later, what happened? When so many Brahmins and Hindus entered into the holy order as Buddhist monk, again they injected most of those Hindu tradition, Hindu customs and belief as Buddhism and Buddhist practices. Then divided into different schools. And they try to glorify that our school is more advanced and far better than this or that. And this battle is still going on. More and more Buddhist cults, Buddhist creeds, Buddhist sects come into existence in different countries. Many things that the Buddha has rejected in his basic teaching, again they have incorporated, included into this religion and try to justify, saying this is the secret doctrine of the Buddha. Buddha has never revealed this thing to the public. Before his death, he has revealed only to few disciples secret doctrine. This is the way how they try to justify. What are those things? Mysticism, occultism, talisman, mantras, tantras, and there are few more. The Buddha has rejected very clearly all these practices, telling us we cannot find real religious value. Even astrology. Astrology is a scientific subject, but there you cannot find any religious value. But later, they tried to introduce all these practices as Buddhism. Going on changing the basic teachings of the Buddha. Then what happened? Wisdom, a spiritual development, sainthood, perfection, all these great qualities of the Buddha completely lost. And we are dealing with all those practices as Buddhism. An example. When you come to know a Buddhist monk or a Buddhist leader come to this country from another country, and people spread the news earlier, so and so will be coming, he is very powerful, he knows so many mantras, he can cure all your sicknesses and he can do wonderful thing in this world. Then thousands and thousands of devotees follow him wherever they go, thinking he got power. What is that power you are seeking for? Is that the main purpose of Buddhism? Is that the message that Buddha wanted to convey us? So-called worldly power, miraculous power, supernatural power, even nuclear energies that is more powerful than any other kind of powers in this world, cannot contribute anything to train, to discipline the wicked and crooked and selfish human mind. The Buddha wanted to do only that much, to train this mind. The more you go on seeking powers for your material gain, worldly life, or pleasure, the more you experience fear, suspicion, some sort of insecurity feeling. All those powers cannot do anything to console your mind, to give confidence. Forever you remain, forever you shiver with fear and suspicion and tension. The method taught by the Buddha is to strengthen our mind, to understand the nature of human life, the nature of world, nature of the universe. So when we develop this understanding, we know how to face fact without following anybody, any gurus, any teachers. It is due to your weakness. You follow them blindly, thinking they have powers. That is what the Buddha says here. Must try to develop your mind by using your effort. So Buddhism is not a religion for you to maintain some sort of belief or mere faith. It is a religion for you to analyze, for you to study, to understand. After that you get confidence. You can satisfy. Then that understanding becomes unshakable. All those so-called miraculous powers, supernatural powers also cannot change your mind, because they are natural phenomena. So after developing this understanding, which is called wisdom, please remember, difference between knowledge and wisdom. We can develop our knowledge by reading books, by listening to others. Academic knowledge, scientific knowledge, worldly knowledge never gives wisdom. Remember this. All over the world, people have gained this academic knowledge and scientific knowledge and worldly knowledge, but they do not act wisely. They act foolishly. Many of those people who violate peace and happiness of innocent people, who bluff and swindle and disturb others, are educated people. this knowledge that they gathered could not control their mind, not contribute anything for them to culture their mind. Here, wisdom is the only one which can enlighten. Then what is this wisdom? By using the same academic knowledge, book knowledge, or worldly knowledge, you can analyze. After that, you can understand. All these things are changeable, subject to decay and disappear, forgotten. Later, we develop some sort of unhappiness, unsatisfactoriness, worry, because we have lost many things that we have gained. We could not gain many things which we wanted. We got many things which we don't like, unwanted things. But if you can understand the nature of the world where we live, the nature of human life that we are leading, you never get frustrations or disappointments by using that analytical knowledge. This is the nature of the Buddha's teaching. Here in this stanza, the Buddha says, when you develop this understanding, it is not knowledge. Knowledge sometimes does not contribute anything to understand things. We maintain memories. That is called knowledge. We can refer to any books or any religion or any philosophy. We can give quotation, but there is no inner development in our heart or in our mind. We can see this whether we have developed anything in our heart by watching and observing how we talk, how we face our problems, how much tolerance and understanding we have developed, how we treat others. These are the things that we have to observe very carefully to find out whether there is an inner development in our mind. If these qualities are not there, our knowledge, our philosophy or psychology or religious knowledge remain as dry subject. The heart is very dry. Mind is very stiff. When we cultivate these qualities, then the heart becomes very soft. Then the mind becomes very tender. Then reduce pride, egoism, and skepticism, skeptical ideas. Then our behavior, our way of talking, never disturb others, never swindle others. How many people are there in this world who have developed these good qualities? So the main purpose of the Buddha's teaching is to cultivate these qualities. Supernatural power cannot develop this. God cannot develop this. Another person cannot develop this. We have to learn, we have to understand, we have to practice. Then changes take place in our mind. Through that understanding, we try to behave as cultured, harmless, respectable or noble human beings. Now what is happening in this world? When we try to behave as honest or kind or sincere human beings, there are so many other crooked, selfish people who try to take the advantage of our goodness, our kindness, our honesty. Then we will become their victims. If not, they regard us as fools. Then what will happen? Slowly we also change our attitude. Then one day, instead of developing more and more good qualities in our mind, we follow them. I'll give an example. When you want to drive your motor car, very carefully to avoid accident, very mindfully, very gently you drive your motor car. But don't forget, there are so many reckless drivers. So they may come and bang your car, and very bad accident. Your car also damaged, you also had injuries. Then you start to think, so what is the big idea of taking precautions and try to drive my motor car very, very carefully? No use at all. So in future, I also follow him. I also must drive motor car like that. This is what is happening in this world today. When you try to be good, to be honest and kind, others come and bully you. Then you also change your attitude. Then each and every person becomes selfish, crooked and dangerous. But even then, we should not give up hope. Because each and every person is individually responsible for his or her life or destiny. Just because others are cruel or wicked or selfish, we should not try to follow them. If we can understand the truth or reality, we must try our utmost, as much as that we can, to be good. They are wise people. And then the Buddha says, so when you climb up to that maximum level, that means above this ordinary worldly life, by reducing selfishness and cunningness. When you use your unbiased or pure mind, you can see the mentality, way of life of others. In the eyes of such people, all the others are ignorant. very ignorant. When you listen to people, what they talk, what they come and discuss, and what they want to know, we feel pity on them. Because their mentality or their way of thinking is very, very low. No sense of reasoning at all. What they believe, and then we can understand how far we have developed our understanding. Then we must know the technique, how to talk to them, how to change little bit of their misunderstanding and stupidity and superstitious ideas. When we stand at the bottom of a hill or a rock, we cannot understand what is on the top because we have never climbed. So we create our own imagination. Some people may spread the news. You know, on the top of these rocks, there are dragons, there are angels on the top of this hill. Then you go and watch, yes, we also believe there must be. And this is our way of thinking. But one day, when you climb the top of this rock or the hill, you can see actually what is there. After that, when you look at below, there are so many people still watching, thinking there are supernatural powers, divine powers, and devas and brahmas and angels and dragons here on the top. Then you can see these people are actually ignorant. So when you compare the Buddha's way of thinking and the way of thinking of an arahanta or holy saint who has climbed up to that maximum level, so in their eyes we are ignorant. We have not realized the truth. And that is why the Buddha is trying to pave the way for us to understand things properly. So this is the meaning of this particular stanza, sayings of the Buddha. See how meaningful. There are many things for us to learn and think.
I think we were talking about chitta. You know the meaning of chitta? What is chitta? Mind. Chitta means mind. So we are talking about our mind. Hear what the Buddha has said. Kumbhupamam kayamimam vijitva mariti dhammam abhisambhidana yodeta marang panyayudena itancharakhe anivesanamudya. Now this is the Buddha saying. The meaning. Realizing that this body is as a jar or a pot. Establishing this mind as firm as a city. He should attack Mara with the weapons of wisdom. He should guard his conquest and be without attachment. Still it is not clear, isn't it? So simply by reading the English translation, so you won't be able to catch the real meaning. So what the Buddha says, first we must realize what this body, Kumbhupamang Kaya, Kaya means body, must realize what this body is. This is like a pot or a jar. There are so many things inside this pot. But some people use the whole pot as crackpot. Their behavior is such, become real nuisance to others. That means they misuse their mind, their body and everything to create a lot of problems and miseries. So we should not misuse our physical body to disturb other living beings. Because of our human mind, it is more advanced than any other kinds of living beings, we can abuse this very easily. By using our physical body, we can kill others, we can destroy others very easily. So the advice of the Buddha is not to misuse this physical body. In another discourse, the Buddha also mentioned or advised us how to maintain our human dignity. Kayena sangvaro sadhu, sadhu vachaya sangvaro, manasa sangvaro sadhu. There are three things we had to maintain sangvara. Sangvara means discipline. There must be some sort of discipline in our mind. Discipline in our mind means whenever evil thoughts or harmful thoughts appear in our minds, we control this without allowing these evil forces to flare up and come out either through our mouth or the body. That is the way how we guard, how we discipline our mind. Then the second one is Vachaya sangvaro sadhu, vacha, words. We have to guard our tongue when we are going to talk. Otherwise, the words that come out from our mouth can create enormous mistake, harmful to us and to others. So before we talk, we have to think. That is called discipline. In simple language, talk mindfully. By knowing what you talk, by considering whether your words that you are going to utter are harmful or useful. Discipline. Kayena sangvaro sadhu. It's better for you to discipline your physical body. You can misuse your hand, your leg, your body, your whole body to create many problems. So when such ideas appear in your mind, when such words come into your mouth, when your mind forces your body to do something which are harmful, which create miseries, then discipline. And here, by considering the nature of this body, again analyze. So when you study Satipatthana Sutta. Usually people use for their meditation, way of mindfulness. Analyze into various groups. First analyze into 4 elements. This physical body is nothing but combinations of 4 elements. What are the 4 elements? First one is solid things, solidity. Second one, fluid. Third one, heat energy. Last one, wind or motion. Breathe in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. That is motion. These are the 4 elements combined together, and the shape of our physical body takes place due to the combinations of these 4 elements. Then these are the elemental side. But elements alone cannot produce a life, a physical body. There must be many other sources. What are the other sources? If elements alone cannot produce a life, there must be certain other things. What are those things? Cannot? Energies. And what are those energies? We have 2 kinds of energies. Internal energies and external energies. Internal energies is called mental energy. External energy is called what? Cosmic energy. You know how many energies that we use without our knowledge. You know, when a child, a baby is being born, first time, in the mother's womb, that baby never breathes. But after giving birth, the first time when baby opens the mouth and cry and start breathing, first time, that means the whole cosmic energy enter into the physical body. Then breathe out, come out again. Then again breathe in. The cosmic energy is working here. Support all the existing elements and mental energy. That is how we survive. So when we meditate, concentrating on our breath, what we do, we harmonize or we cooperate our mental energy with the cosmic energy. At the moment, they are working separately. Mental energy works in one way, cosmic energy another way. When we meditate, we join both together, cosmic energy and mental energy. That is how the development takes place in our mind. So now you realize this body is nothing but combinations of 4 elements and 2 kinds of energies, mental energies and cosmic energies. Right. How many kinds of mental energies are there? You have heard these things, that is why purposely I want to ask. how many kinds of mental energies are there? Simply we say mind, that is not enough. We must know how to analyze. And then we can understand the function or the activities of the mind. Yes? You know only one energy, isn't it? Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. These are the four. So I mentioned the Pali word. Now you must try to give me the English word. What is the first mental energy? Vedana. What is Vedana? Feeling. Right? How many kinds of feelings are there? How many kinds?
3 kinds.
3. Very good. What are those 3? Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. See, now advance. Slowly come up one by one like this. We are experiencing 3 kinds of Vedana or feeling. Pleasant or very nice feeling. Then we experience very bad, very painful feeling. And in between there are many, just ignore. Neutral. 3 kinds of feeling. That is one particular mental faculty, mental energy in our mind. Now you realize. Then why do we consider, contemplate on this feeling? To maintain the discipline in our mind. When there are pleasant and nice and soothing feeling, we become crazy. And we want to gain more and more such feelings. When we lose or when we lost, when we separate from pleasant and nice feeling, we feel very unhappy. Then we experience very unhappy feeling. On the other hand, when we have very unpleasant feeling, we hate this feeling. We don't like this feeling. Then we pollute our mind. By developing that hatred in our mind towards our pain, we pollute our mind. That is how pleasant and unpleasant feeling also pollute the purity of the mind. The neutral feeling we ignore because that feeling does not create, does not disturb our mind. Then the second one, Sanya. What is Sanya? Cannot. Can, right? Perception. What is perception? Use another simple word. Another simple word. We perceive, but many people cannot understand what it is. Recognize. That one is easy, isn't it? We recognize. This is so and so. This is good, this is bad. This is called perception. This is another mental faculty. There are so many things to function, to recognize. The mental energies must work and work and work. Come to that conclusion, oh, this is so and so, or this is good, this is bad. Second stage. Third one, Sankhara. What is Sankhara? Yes? Right? Correct. Mental formation. Too big. In other words, he says mental formation too big. Another simple word. That is one aspect. Volitional. Yes, answer is good, but still very deep. Always try to use simple words, then these young people also can understand. So I can use simple words. Our good and bad mental habits. Simple, isn't it? Mental habits. Some are good, some are bad. Then we can use another word. The good and bad karma that we commit accumulate in this particular mental energy that is called sankhara. We continue these things life after life. The other things that we experienced earlier as feeling pleasant, unpleasant, after that no more. And we recognize this is so and so, this is good, this is bad, after that no more. But this one, that accumulated mental habits as good and bad never disappear. Please remember, this is the most important area. Because these things remain as good karma and bad karma. This is sanskara. When you study modern psychology, also you can get support from psychologists. They say, in our mind there is something, they say, called collective consciousness. Collective consciousness, because the nature of the mind is appear and disappear by creating certain good and bad effects. Nothing to remain. That was the common belief. But the Buddha has said earlier, this sankhara or mental concomitants or mental habits, good and bad, that we deposit in the subconscious mind never disappear. And these things we use our habits. Now within this life, we are using so many habits that we have developed during our previous birth. And many things that we develop within this lifetime, we continue and experience in the next life. Good and bad, both. This is a very rich area which is called a storehouse of consciousness. Everything. When a person is hypnotized, through this hypnotism, they can trace back. They can go back to the childhood to find out all the activities in the mind. Again, shift over to the previous birth, last birth. Can reveal certain things, what they have done during their previous birth. That clearly shows all these activities remain in the subconscious mind. So many others cannot understand this interpretation. To them, everything depends on soul theory, soul or God, that's all. But the Buddhism has gone beyond that to explain there is something in our mind. That mind is responsible for all these discriminations, differences and feelings. Then the last one. Vijnana. What is Vijnana? English word? Vijnana means consciousness. Consciousness. Consciousness is very rich. The feeling that we have accumulated earlier, recognitions that we have developed, and mental habits that we maintain. Three energies are there. Besides these three, our five senses bring object from outside. Our eyes bring object. Nose bring object. Mouth bring object. Ear and the physical body. These five channels bring external objects into the mind. Now see how many forces are there. So when all these things join together, started to work, that is called consciousness. It's a very rich. So one day, when we are going to depart from this world, that means when we are going to die, that consciousness is the one which departs. Not the body, not the soul, or spirit, or whatever word that we use. That consciousness transmits. In that consciousness, we have accumulated our craving, attachment, and good and bad karma or mental habits. All these objects, ingredients are there. Then another life will be originated through the influence of this subconscious mind. Again, the four elements just now we mentioned come and join. Then the cosmic energy also again supports. Then new life, new body come into existence. But there is a link, connection with the previous birth. Because many of our pleasant and unpleasant experience in our life, we experience due to certain deeds, what we have done during our previous birth. That is the connection. Again, certain things that we do, like our habits, our food, our color, our dress, and our hobbies, all these things depend on our previous birth. We choose our own color. So here the Buddha's advice is, by considering what this physical body is, this exists for a short period. This is a house, this is a vessel to keep that mind inside. Mind is functioning inside here. When the mind is working, we can notice that physical body also working. If mind is not working, I cannot talk like this. My mind is talking actually. If mind is not working, I cannot raise my hand. This is mind. Every action in our physical body are the activities of mental activities. So when the mind is controlled, when the mind is disciplined properly, guarded properly, then automatically words and the physical body also disciplined. Then the Buddha says, those who realize what this physical body is can use this to protect themselves, to avoid evil forces. Mara. Attack Mara. Mara means evil forces. Every religion talk about a very strong evil force. Christianity and Islam. These two religions talk about Satan or devil. And Hinduism talk about Asura. And Buddhism talk about Mara. Idea is to say, evil force. They interpret this as devil or some other forms of living beings. Actually, they are not living beings. They are evil forces which influence our mind for us to do bad things. Another thing, they never come from outside. They are not external forces. All these evil forces also come out from our mind.